Arcades. Only 90 kids will remember these, and since I was born in 1991, I don't really remember them. I don't think I've ever been to an arcade. I have, however, been to bowling alleys, which have always had a cabinet or two, and one game that I specifically remember was Metal Slug. I always looked at these games with such wonder and awe, shooting guys and tanks. Oh, it looked so much fun. However, I've never played the games because I was just a tiny little kid and I didn't have any money, and my parents wouldn't give me any quarters when I have a perfectly good video game system at home. Well, a couple weeks ago I picked up those games from 7-Eleven, and one of them was Metal Saga. I looked at these and wondered, yes, finally, all those years of looking onward, wondering, what if? Finally put to rest, I'll be able to play the game. Psych! This isn't Metal Saga, it's Metal Slug, a boring and cheap RPG. You can check the review of it on this channel. Anyway, you wanna know why I was confused that it might be Metal Slug? See, here's Metal Saga. All I gotta do is bop those A's away, move this G a little bit, grab an L and a U. Metal Slug. That's why I was confused. Well, after my disappointment, I realized I'm not a little kid anymore. There's far more ways than arcades to experience Metal Saga, so I hopped on eBay and grabbed this, Metal Slug 4 and 5. Then I grabbed my buddy Scott and we played them both. Today I'm going to concentrate on number 4 since it was a little more fun. So, check it out.
When the game boots up, we are given some killer exposition. So this chick is talking on her Xbox Live headset when all of a sudden, one-eyed Saddam Hussein pops up on the screen, and everybody has a mixed reaction. These two are all scared, and this girl looks like she saw the most beautiful man of all time, and this guy couldn't care less. Then the screen of one-eyed Saddam Hussein goes to static. Brilliant, I gotta say, I only played Metal Slug for the story. So the game lets us choose from 4 characters, Marco, Theo, Trevor, and Nadia. There is no huge difference, except for victory animations. For example, Nadia jumps up and down all excited, and Theo sits down and takes a selfie. I tell you who Scott and I chose, but after each continue, you can change your character, and more often than not, we did that. So we start off in some dilapidated streets, running around, mowing down tons of soldiers, just feeling like general bosses. Boom! Die, tank! You too, tank gunner! And then the game gets awesome because we hop into some motorcycles and take off. This level is really fun. High-octane fighting, trucks and helicopters, but it's pretty simple, so there's not much to say. But I can talk about the boss battle. Someone call Kiki the Dirigible's gone mad. Oh yeah, just like the Hindenburg. Wait, it's already over? Come on, I've got one more joke left, let me tell it.
Okay, alright, one. I guess that whole crew is climbing the stairway to heaven, because that just went down like a Led Zeppelin. Boo!
So the next level starts, and it's pretty awesome, just shooting dudes, and then I got to drive the tank. And this is one of the funnest parts of the game, because you die in one hit, but when you're in the tank, you have a lot of health, and a non-stop machine gun. I mean, it doesn't last too long with the constant barrage that the enemy is throwing at you, but even jumping out of the tank as it explodes beneath you is still pretty frickin' sweet. But after that, the game gets significantly less sweet. Or at least it would in the arcades. You see, this game is made to absorb the quarters right out of your pockets, and after a level and a half of feeling awesome and tearing through guys, they throw so much garbage at you that you really can't react to it. In the arcade, this makes sense, but on the Xbox you have infinite continues. In fact, the game almost incentivizes dying, because whenever you need to continue, they drop a heavy machine gun. In the arcade, this would make sense. It says, hey, if you give us another quarter, you can start the next life off with a really powerful machine gun. On the Xbox, if you die, your buddy grabs machine guns before you can get back into the game. Honestly, I think I'd like Metal Slug a little more if it had a fair battle system, but limited lives. And I do mean unfair. There are parts in this game that even if I knew what was going on, I still would not be able to escape. But after that, the cheapness and awesomeness are kicked up to the next level. What happens next is that we hop onto a truck, and it takes off. And you see, this is where the game gets really cheap. Although it is sweet to be fighting at 50 miles per hour again, the only way to dodge is taken away. Maneuverability. You can only go 10 feet in either direction, which means... But it doesn't last too long. Soon we leave the city to terrorize the soldiers of the countryside. But after a few screens of killing and being killed, we run into the boss, a giant tower. A giant tower of guns! And can I just point out that the enemy's fire-based weapons are as brutal as all heck? Well, after that, we head off to the snow world, and then we kill some snowmen, and then we jump into a ravine and wipe out the indigenous Wampas, who have a pretty cool attack.
Do you wanna be a snowman?
Go away, Yeti. Okay, die! I really like how they take the time to put a hat on Theo's snowman and put pigtails on Nadia's. And then we get to a fun platforming section, and I am so glad I am playing this at home and not the arcade. If I were SNK, I would be laughing at me all the way to the bank with my huge bag of quarters. Although the game is fun, I don't like unlimited lives because I don't feel like I'm making any difference. I could die 100 times or twice, and I'd still make it just as far. It takes no skill to win. I mean, look at my strategy here. To beat the boss, every time you die, you get 10 grenades. So I spawn, walk up to the boss, throw all 10 grenades, die, and then just repeat the process. But Mission 4 was unique, because we went to a spooky level.
Which is absolutely perfect for Halloween!
It starts off like a pretty normal level, shooting soldiers, moving right, but then we were given branching paths, and I just held right, and my character decided to ascend the stairway, which brought us to an area I lovingly refer to as Zombie Town.
Winner of the best town in the USA contest.
No longer are we fighting one-eyed Saddam Hussein's army, but we're fighting
the army of the living dead.
Tally-ho! Look at me, I'm Aaron Finn! You're falling apart on me, Meryl Brains! Haha! You've gotta be kidding me! Back to oblivion with ye! Oh, they got me! And I'm coming back!
Oh dear.
Okay, I don't know if this is super cool or super lame, but every time a zombie kills you, you come back as a zombie. I wasn't too keen to it since my movement was stunted and I couldn't operate better guns, but Scott thought that this was the coolest thing ever, and every time he came back, he immediately got himself murdered so he could join the coolest ranks. Which was actually a great tactic, because instead of grenades, you get this super powerful blood bomb attack that absolutely annihilated the boss of the stage. The next level was pirate-themed, and as we battled soldiers, a bunch of swashbuckling bilge-rats fell upon us, attempting to send us to Davy Jones' lockers with a flick of their steel. But swords really don't do well against guns. There was this one part where a ship pulled up and started dispensing pirates, and as we destroyed the ship, I guess Scott appointed himself captain because he lived up to that age-old saying, "The captain always takes the ship down with him." And then we fought the boss of the stage. It was a giant submarine. That's pretty much all I have to say. And we're finally to the final mission, which starts off like any cool mission, with a cable drop section. It's super cool. It gives you full mobility. You're not confined to 10 feet of truck or small icy slopes or even the ground. You can go anywhere on screen, and I love it.
You see, the fun thing about Metal Slug is you get a ton of variety. You get to fight on land, on sea, down cable drops. You know, you get turned into snowmen, zombies, and chimps. Chimps!
Yep. After the cable drop section, they add in enemy scientists who run up, shoot you, and turn your character into a monkey. It's like the zombie, except now you have mad hops. At least until your character dies. After that, we fought a couple more bosses. One-eyed Saddam Hussein, who actually turned out to be a robot, this awesome buff dude who actually turned out to be a robot, and this awesome robot who actually turned out to be a dude. After the destruction of his robot, we flee the exploding facility, and then I take a selfie, and that's the game.
So, that's Metal Slug 4. This game was a blast to play, despite the fact that with the infinite amount of deaths you're given, it's not really hard, but it did keep track of the number of continues we used. If Scott and I had to pay to play this in an arcade, it would have run us about $8.50 each. I mean, it is a great fun game, and I'll probably play it a lot more since I own it now and I can play it for free. And when I play it, I'll go for having even less deaths in my playthroughs. It was fun. Certainly more fun than freaking Metal Saga. Well, a couple weeks ago, I picked up those games from 7-Eleven, and I got this one.